Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's come into a comfortable seated position. If you have a block, place it under your sacrum, or sits bones, I should say. And begin to just notice the experience of ground supporting you. And start to find that posture that's using just the right effort. Not more, not less. Just a good amount of effort to keep your spine nice and long. And you can even imagine that you're balancing a bowl of water on top of your head, so that you have this nice kind of sturdy sense of awareness, focus. And you can begin to use ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through the nose with a subtle constriction in the back of the throat. What this breath does is it keeps your concentration steady and allows you to maintain a good amount of energy throughout the practice. And since you're sitting up, there is a potential tendency to have some stress around the posture. So keep reminding yourself to find that place in the middle, where there's just enough elongation in the spine, so that you can have an open heart. And invite a certain softening right there around the chest. Around the shoulders, around the belly. Maintaining awareness of the ground and its sturdiness. Earth. And any tension that comes up, start to release it from the body, through the breath and into the earth. And begin to notice the peace that's already here. We tend to just move away from peace into our minds on a regular basis as human beings. Bless us. But it's always here. You start to feel it in your body, as if it was like the texture of perfume without a scent. Anything that you can't see, but you can actually feel it. I forgot to mention that if seated is uncomfortable for you, of course you can lie down. Beautiful, and you can start to bring the hands to the heart space, either joining the hands at the heart in prayer pose or stacking the hands on top of the chest calling into our space all of your ancestors and angels and loved ones. All of your guides. And bowing to this experience together and this encounter today, precious encounter. We'll open the practice with this sound of Om. A cleansing breath. Inhale. As you open your eyes, take a little bit of time just to give your wrists a little bit of loving by moving them around and circling them through in one direction and then to the other direction. Shake up your hands. And take a little bit of a circular motion around your shoulders. Maybe looking to the right and to the left. Reaching the arms overhead with an in-breath. And on the out-breath, find a side bend to the right. Come back again to center with the inhale. And an exhale to the right. 2 more times. Breath in and breath out. Come back to center. Switching arms, elongate the right arm all the way up. Feel your side body before you bend. See if you can relax your left shoulder when you do this. 2 more times. And last time. Come back to the center. Make your way into a child pose. If you feel like you need some circular motions throughout your hips before that, then take that into some semicircles. And as you release yourself into a child pose, allow your body to feel received by the earth. What this means is that as tension comes up to surface, you can just make a conscious effort, or not even an effort, but be aware of it, and let it just slowly float down to the ground. Notice the relationship between the breath and this release of tension. And also notice the relationship between a full surrender to the ground and the ability or the capacity to receive. One more in-breath. On the out, bring yourself up and back to a table pose, stacking your knees under your hips. And begin to slowly arch and curl the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. Finding some spaces from the bottom all the way up through the spine. Take your time to slowly release your left forearm to the ground and shift your weight into your left knee to lift and circle through the hip a few times. Maybe bending and extending the leg also. And take it to the other side. Beautiful. Come back to the center. Plant your hands on the ground. Curl your toes under and find your way into your downward facing dog. Let the body experience the elongation of the legs and the back. As you rock the head side to side, giving your body permission to pedal or to shift forward and back. Or to remain static if that's what comes. Take your right leg up towards the sky with the in-breath. On the out-breath, bring the knee towards the chest and curl, shift forward into a plank. Do it 2 more times. Inhaling back and exhaling forward. As the knee comes towards the front, step forward to come into a low crescent. Allow the back knee to drop. Rise up through the torso. Reach the left arm up with the in-breath and twist to the right. Come back through the center and twist to the left. And do it a couple more times. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. One more time. Come back through, plant your hands down, step back into downward dog. Deep in breath. Let it go. Left leg slowly rises. Knee comes to the chest, curl. 2 more times. Last time. Step forward, low crescent. Rise up, inhale. Exhale, twist. Back to center, inhale. And twist. Do these motions a couple of more times with your own pace. A final twist to the right. Come back to the center with the in-breath. Out-breath, step back into downward dog. Take your time to shift forward in a plank pose. I'm going to teach you the two options that you can take throughout this practice. You can lower your knees with the in-breath, and then lower your chest all the way down with the out-breath. And then open your heart into a baby cobra with the in-breath. Back to your downward facing dog with the out-breath. That's one option. You can all do it together. The next option is to shift forward into plank. Keep the knees lifted. Shift forward a little bit more, then lower down halfway to Chaturanga Dandasana with the out-breath. Then opening up your heart for upward facing dog with the inhale, back to your downward facing dog with the exhale. These two options are available for you throughout class, and I will also be cueing you to potentially skip them if you wish. Take your time to walk your feet forward into a forward fold. Find this release in the shoulders, in the neck, in the jaw. Feel your feet fully connected to the ground. Lift and separate your toes to kind of re-drape them down to find a bit of a suction cupping with the earth. Maybe a rag doll, grabbing a hold of opposite elbows to give yourself a bit more weight in the torso. Or taking those elbows and placing them on the thighs for some support. And slowly take your time to rise up. All the way to standing. Good. Release your arms down. Keep feeling your legs on the ground, feet firm. And then you can close your eyes and imagine that you are a glass of water full of sand. And that sand is dissipating down to the bottom, so that the water is clearing. Find that place where that tension can get released down to the ground. Good. One more in-breath. And out. Let's take our time to flow. Reach those arms overhead with the inhale. With the exhale, bow. Hinge from the hips, forward fold. In a halfway lift. Out, plant the palms down and step the right leg back. Find the runner lunge, inhale. With the exhale, step back into either downward dog or take your vinyasa through to your downward dog. Take a breath in. On the breath out, reach. Relax your chest completely, and on the next in-breath, reach your right leg up towards the sky. On the out-breath, bring the knee towards the chest, curl it, and step forward to come into your warrior one. Allow the back heel to dial down, the foot to face as much forward as it's comfortable. Reach those arms overhead, breath in. On the breath out, open it up to your warrior two. Take a reverse warrior as you flip the front hand and reverse it with the in-breath. With the out-breath, slowly bring the hands back down to the ground into a runner lunge and step the front leg back into either a plank or a downward dog, depending on if you're taking your vinyasa through. The left leg slowly rises to the sky with the in-breath. The out-breath takes the knee to the chest, curl. Step it forward to come into warrior one on this side. Rise up, stabilizing your feet. Inhale. On the exhale, open it up to your warrior two. Flipping the front palms as you reverse your warrior, inhale. On the exhale, cartwheel your hands down. And stepping your front foot back either to downward dog or taking your vinyasa through. Breath in. And breath out. That sand is coming down all the way to the base of the glass. Tension is releasing from the body. Your body is clearing, just like the water, from tension. Good. Take the left leg up towards the sky with the in-breath. On the out-breath, knee to chest, step forward. Lift the chest with the in-breath. On the out-breath, walk the back foot forward to come into a forward fold. Rise all the way up with an in-breath. Two arms reach overhead. On the out-breath, bow, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Halfway lift with the inhale. Step the left foot back to come into a runner lunge. And then step the right foot back either to plank for your Chaturanga Vinyasa or to downward dog. We'll do it one more time. Right leg rises to the sky, inhale. Exhale, knee to chest, curl it. Step it forward for warrior one. Rise up. Feel the entire length of the spine. Open it up to your warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm and reverse it. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. And step back either to your downward dog or take your vinyasa through. Monitor your energy level and choose wisely. Left leg rises up with the in-breath. Out-breath, knee to chest. Step it lightly forward, warrior one. All the way up with the in-breath. Warrior two. Flip the front palm and reverse it, in-breath. On the out-breath, cartwheeling through and stepping back either to downward dog or with vinyasa through. Beautiful. Take it in and out. Start to find the relationship between your spine and your core, so that the more you engage that core, pulling the navel in and up, the spine elongates, the shoulders roll down the back. And then start to find places in the body where you're able to engage, but without adding 1 ounce of extra effort. Bend the knees a lot, press the hips back. Look forward with the in-breath. With the out-breath, either walk or float into a forward fold. We'll rise all the way up with the inhale. And with the exhale, bow, forward fold. You know what's next. We're going to meet in downward dog. If you like to take your vinyasa through, do it. Deep in breath. Let it go. Right leg slowly rises up, breath in. On the breath out, knee to the chest, curl. Let's do it one more time. Inhale. Exhale, knee to chest, step foot forward, warrior one. Take your time to rise up, feeling that elongation in the side body. And then taking your right hand to your right hip, find a side bend. Come back through to the center and either interlace your hands behind your back, opening further through the heart, or stack your hands on top of your sacrum. As you take 3 back and forth, hinging and then tucking and curling back up. For 3. For 2. And 1. As you rise back up, extend both arms sideways and start to really now find the place where your arms feel like they're floating without any extra tension in the shoulders. Shift your weight a bit more into that front leg. Activate the back leg firm and breathe. Reach the arms overhead with the inhale. On the exhale, come into your warrior two. Make fists with your hands to circle your wrists, giving them a break from all these chaturangas we just did. And keep the thumbs facing upwards now as you elongate those arms apart again. As you reverse your warrior next, elongate the front leg for like a reverse triangle. Extend the right arm up with the inhale. On the exhale, come into your side angle. And start to take this back and forth now between the two in a really mindful way. And make it your own pace. Now let's say that my pace is much slower and I like to linger longer in each pose. Then I'm going to do that. A couple more times. Last time. And we'll hold our side angle. See if you can find a place there where your legs are super sturdy. And engage your pelvic floor muscles and pull the navel in and up. That's two actions, Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. Stay active in the feet with the in-breath. With the out-breath, let go of a little bit more tension around your chest and shoulders. Can you find the peace that's ever present while you are engaged? On the next in-breath, we'll elongate the front leg for a reverse triangle. Inhale. On the exhale, we'll cartwheel the hands down, all the way through, stepping back either to downward dog or taking your vinyasa through. Take it in and let it go. Left leg rises up. Inhale. Exhale, knee to the chest, curl it. Do it again. Curl it and step forward, warrior one. The same thing on this side that we did before. We'll take those hands either stacked on top of the sacrum or interlaced behind the back. We'll try not to collapse into that lower back, but rather hinge out of it so that you see that action of hinging forward a little and then opening up from the chest rather than sinking into that lower back. Yeah. Take that back and forth 3 times. In, out. And expand your arms apart, relaxing your shoulders. Releasing that sand down to the bottom of that glass. Just feel it, visualize it. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, warrior two. And start to take that alteration now between the two. Inhaling as you expand your front leg for a reverse warrior or reverse triangle, and exhaling as you come into your side angle. Make it your own pace. Maybe you only take 3 because your pace is much slower. Maybe you take 8 because your pace is faster. Just try to be mindful whatever you do. It's not what we do, it's how we do it. One more in-breath, maybe holding a little longer in that reverse. Growing a little taller before coming into a side angle pose where you're really active in those feet. Now see if you can find the place where you're actually thriving in the pose versus like working so hard to maintain it. Your body will know that place. It's in the middle between effort and ease. For 3, 2, 1. Return to the center and reverse it with the in-breath. With the out breath, come back through either to your downward dog or vinyasa through. Take your time now to take 2 more breaths in your downward dog, where you're really kind of finding the peace within the challenge, in the background of all challenge. Good. Shift forward to take your way into a forearm plank. And we'll hold the forearm plank for a few breaths. As much as you can, try to keep your nervous system calm by not agitating yourself. Just engage your muscles for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your hips to the ground. Activate the shoelace sides of the feet into the earth, including pinky toes and big toes. And grow open in the chest, squeezing those shoulder blades muscles towards one another. For 3, 2, 1. Reverse push-up back to your plank and into your downward dog. Bend the knees, press the hips back with the inhale. The exhale, walk or float, forward fold. Take the big toes with the first 2 fingers and go a little bit deeper as the elbows go sideways. And then sink into your chair pose, dropping the hips. And taking the hands to the heart. See if you can tuck that tailbone under just enough, not too much, so that your pelvis is in a neutral place and you're not overarching. Take the arms overhead as you come on up onto your tippy toes. Inhale. On the exhale, sink back into a chair pose with the arms reaching back. Inhale, come back to your Tadasana. And exhale, let's do it again. Rise. Sink back down. Flow. Rise to your Tadasana. And again, one last time. And back down. Find your chair pose and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come into balance now as you rise onto the right foot, lifting the left knee up and feeling that activation in your right glute muscle. We're going to take it into airplane pose and then come back through for eagle. Nice and slow, start to hinge back, elongating the left leg back. We'll take a break in a couple of breaths in a crescent lunge. As you land yourself in your crescent, solidify it, bending the back knee and tucking the pelvis under, stabilizing it. Then take your left arm up with the inhale, and with the exhale, start to hinge forward to take your way into a twist. I like to take my forearm up and over the thigh. Some people like to use the elbow. For 3, 2, 1. Come back to the center. Find that crescent again. Open up the arms and prep for eagle. Left arm comes under right. You either take the full expression of the arms or hold your shoulders. And either come into the balance with just the knee up or take the entire leg around. For 3, for 2, and 1. Release. Reach 2 arms overhead, breath in, and breath out. If you have a block or a water bottle, take it and place it to the front of your left leg. We're coming into half moon balance from this place. Take your time to balance onto your left leg and then start to stack your hips to come into the pose. You don't have to place your weight on the block or the bottle, but just have it there as an anchor. Breathe it in and out. For 3, 2, and 1. Release. Rise up with the inhale and exhale. Let's do it on the other side. Stabilize it, then slowly come into it. Engage your pelvic floor muscles and then pull the navel in and up. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. For 3, 2, and 1. Release. Rise up with the inhale and exhale, palms to heart space. Let's take it back into chair pose. Stay nice and active in the legs. Feel your quads, feel your glutes. We'll rise up onto the tippy toes, inhale. On the exhale, sink back into chair. Inhale back to Tadasana. And let's do it again. Rise up. Come back down and swing the arms back. Rise up. And one last time. In. And out. And stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's take it into balance onto the left side. Right knee lifts. Find that place where the pelvis is neutral, right? It's not all over the place. Core is strong. Spine is long. Balancing that bowl of water, on your head without too much stress. Into airplane. Keep your gaze on something stable. Dial your right hip down a little. Relax your shoulders for 3, 2, 1. Land in your crescent. Stabilize it. And start to prep for eagle arms. Inhale. On the exhale, thread it through. And then as you come into balance, decide if you want to stay just in a balanced position with the right knee up, or if you want to wrap the legs to come back into that chair pose with wrapped legs. Hug your inner thighs towards one another. Engage your pelvic floor muscles and the rest of your core for 3, 2, and 1. Rise up and release. Shake it up a bit. We're going to go from dancer pose on the right side, letting go of the left leg eventually to land in crescent to warrior 2. I'll walk you through it. Shift your weight into your right leg. Bend the left knee to grab a hold of your ankle. Tuck the tailbone under. Work here or press back for dancer. Stay active in your right glutes as you press back for 3, 2, 1. Release the leg and land in crescent. Then dial the back heel down for warrior 2. And from warrior 2, come into your triangle pose, but facing the back of the room. So shift yourself into warrior 2 on the other side. So turn to the back of the room into warrior 2, where your left leg is bent versus your right. Then from here, come into your triangle pose, hinging towards the back wall, and then elongating the back leg. And finding that beautiful side stretch on the right side. For 3, 2, and 1. Rise up. Come into your goddess pose, heels in, toes out. Find a neutral pelvis. And bring your hands into lotus mudra, right at the heart. On the in-breath, I want you to extend your legs and reach that mudra all the way up and separate the arms open. On the out-breath, bring yourself back into the mudra and sink down to your place of goddess. Do it 3 more times. Rise, let the flower bloom all the way up. Open your chest. Open your heart and bring it back down. Last time, in. And out. Come on out of the pose. Turn towards me, towards the front. And come into an elongated, both legs hip distance apart. Activate both feet into the ground firmly. And reach that left arm all the way up with the in-breath. Take the right hand and externally rotate that right hip a bit towards the back as you hinge forward. Then you can release your hands onto blocks or to the ground for Parshvottanasana. For 3, 2, and 1. Slowly take your time to walk forward and roll all the way up to stand. 2 arms reach overhead, breath in, and breath out, palms to heart space. And we'll take the dancer pose to the other side. Shift your weight into the left leg. Bend the right knee. Hug in towards the center. Work here, or find your way as you activate the foot into the hand and hinge at the same time. For 3, 2, and 1. Land the foot back. Open it up into Warrior 2. Reach the arms wide. Then transition to Warrior 2 on the other side. And once you find it, come into your triangle. For 3, for 2, and 1, rise back up. Turn to the side for a wide-legged stance. Press your hips forward and open your chest so that the sternum is lifting up into a back bend. Yeah, maybe you stay here or you open your arms. I like the hands at heart space. It kind of keeps me gathered so that I'm not losing my connection to the lower back, and keep engaging those glutes a lot. Press your hips more forward. Come back to neutral and bow, forward fold. And let the nervous system reap the benefits of these heart opening and balanced poses. Notice the peace that's ever present. And you can return to it. It's in the background, always. Slowly come up into a halfway lift and start to turn back towards me, adjusting the feet firmly, maybe a halfway lift, and then rebowing forward into your Parshvottanasana. You know how like the heat doesn't have a shape and you can't see it, but it does permeate the entire room? Just like that, think of the peace. And that can permeate our bodies, our muscles. Good. And we'll plant the back foot forward into a forward fold. And rise all the way up to stand. Two arms overhead, breath in. And breath out. Hallelujah. Let's come on down onto our knees. If you need a drink, take a drink. I want to take a variation of camel pose. So, I invite you to stand on your knees and take the block, if you have it, place it next to your shin or ankle, and then extend your right leg to the side. It doesn't have to be right to the side, it could go a bit more forward, and then get the toes to kind of come inwards so that it's coming towards your heart. Then activate your knee towards your foot and your foot towards your knee, and see what that does. It kind of lifts, protects the lower back, and it squeezes the glutes. Once you do this, you can either take your left hand to the block or to your left heel as you press your hips forward and open up into a variation of camel. I like to curl my left toes under, it gives my heel a bit more of a boost. And slowly come on out. Isn't that nice? I just learned that the other day. Let's do it on the other side. So the key is to keep your back supported by doing that action of pulling your knee towards your foot and foot towards your knee. That's like energetically. Squeezes your left glute, press your hips forward, and hand to the heel with the toes curled under or not, or hand to the block as you keep pressing your hips forward and open up. Come on out of it. And let's come into a seated position. Quick drink of water. It's like no matter how much you fan, it's just hot. It's like hot air. All right, let's take the legs to the outside edges of the mat and take a few twisting motions to relieve the spine. Take your time to lift that left hip off the ground. Turn it And then turn, as if you're reaching to grab something from the back of your car. And then back to center. It's very functional. This is how we usually tweak something, you know? And to the other. Let's do it 2 more times on each side. One last time. Notice how my leg is also turning. That entire leg is turning. The hip is turning. Yeah. Good. Come back to the center. Take the soles of the feet towards one another. Either staying here with a bit of a heart opener or walking those feet more forward for a forward fold. Notice the evening out of your breath and your heart rate. As we start to go inside, inviting that warmth and that peacefulness inside our chest and our organs. Slowly come on out of the pose and make your way into your pigeon on the right side. So I like prone pigeon for today, but if you want to take it on your back, you can. Align the right edge of the right thigh to the right edge of the mat. Either keep your back knee bent if that feels better, or extend the leg all the way back. Either stay upright or release yourself down onto your forearms. And find the in-breath and the out-breath. In the foreground, notice the discomfort if there's any. Maybe it's simply a surface discomfort. And as you breathe in and out, you can move into the background where there's peace. The glass of water with the sand analogy is from the Tao Te Ching, based on the saying, can you remain unmoving until the water clears and the right action arises by itself. 2 more breaths. And slowly and gently transitioning to the other side. I'm still paraphrasing it, but the closer translation is, can you find the patience till the sand settles or the mud settles and the water clears? Can you remain unmoving until the right action arises by itself? I love this one because there's so much trust in it. Trusting that the grass will grow, that the flowers will bloom, that life keeps on going without us having to be involved all the time. Your time to slowly release out of the pose, to make it onto your backs. You can turn your legs to the other side, to the back of the room, and relax your bodies on the ground as you slowly pull your right knee towards your chest, giving it a little squeeze. And turning it over to the left for a reclined twist. Maybe positioning both knees over one another. Back to the center. Left knee to the chest. And to the other side. Finally, relaxing in your Shavasana. And once again, finding the relationship between this complete surrender and the capacity to receive. The peace that's already here. Om Sachidananda Parabrahma Parashottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Sameta Shri Bhagavate Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Slowly start to make your way into some movements. Maybe stretching the arms and the legs and then pulling them towards the chest. Maybe you like to stay reclined for the close of practice. That's perfectly okay. Otherwise, roll over onto your side and come on up to face me. Bringing hands to the heart. May we find the clarity in our daily lives and reap the benefits of what we learn on the mat in our daily lives. May we find the place in the middle where we're not overly efforting in our speech, in our actions. May we find the patience to trust and the benevolence of life. Closing with the sound of Om, a cleansing breath. Inhale. I thank you for allowing me to teach you today. Namaste. Have a wonderful day, everyone.